Hi everyone, Rick Bray with BT BOCES Instructional Support, and in this video I'd like to take a little closer look at creating slides in a Pear Deck slide deck with Google Slides. So like we mentioned, this is our preferred way of building is within a Google slide deck. And I would just put in, my title slide and I would build things as I normally would in terms of like information that I would share with my students, and I'd build slide decks, and that's all well and good. When I want to bring in the magic of Pear Deck is when I want to bring in one of their interactive slides, and they have them organized here by beginning of lesson, during lesson, and end of lesson, but that doesn't necessarily mean that you need to select them for that purpose. You could do it during the lesson at the beginning, a beginning at the end, whatever you want to do. But when I click on beginning of lesson, for example, I can see here's a slide deck that says, what do you want to know about this topic? And if you notice at the bottom of each slide, it tells you what kind of slide it is. A text slide is where your students will be given a question prompt with a space to the right to enter in their text responses. This one here, a drawing slide, they're going to get tools to draw and add text boxes where they can draw in this space of the slide itself. Here again, I see a text slide with text entering. And then a draggable slide it's a little tricky to see here, but there's a blue dot on the screen, and the students will on their end drag the blue dot to where they feel they fall. Now, and again, there are during lessons. Again, you'll see there's text slides. There's multiple choice, right, where they're picking A, B, C, or D on an answer, or true, false in this case. A draggable slide with the blue dot, all sorts of different questions that I can get into here. But here's what I want to show you that's really important, is in this drawing slide. All I do is click on it to insert it, and it's going to drop into the slide deck. And again, this is an interactive slide. What's really important is you may say like, well, how often am I going to have them graph y equals x plus 2? I want them to graph something else. I want them to graph a different relationship. This slide doesn't totally fit what I want. These slides are completely customizable as long as you don't delete this banner down here that very clearly says, do not remove this bar. Right? So I'm going to say that again. You can change every single thing about this slide as long as you don't change this bar. So that means I can get rid of this text box. I can get rid of the picture. I can get rid of that picture. I can get rid of the text box that I didn't get rid of the first time. I can change the background. I can do all these different things, and that's going to show up for my students when they're in the interactive mode, right? Which we're going to talk about that in a later video. I can also insert images. So I might say, let's search the web for sailboats because I want to do sailboats. And I add this safe picture and poof, now that's in there. It's fully customizable, and they could draw all over this image on their end. Again, as long as I don't change this bar. So that's how you can add in some slides from their slide library. There's also critical thinking that I want to highlight, which there's some really, really good critical thinking prompts in here that you could ask your students. The last thing back here on the right-hand side, down at the bottom, you can ask your students a question, and the top row of icons at this time are all free. The bottom two are part of the paid version of Pear Deck that I have. What these bottom buttons do here is when I take a slide, let's change the layout here to this type, and I put all the information in here. Maybe I make this multiple choice, whatever I want to do. All of a sudden, I click any of these, and it turns it into that kind of a slide. I can make it a text-based, a multiple choice. Number is where the students are just going to enter a number, and the displayed results on the teacher's screen are an auto-scaled line showing all those estimates. So it's a nice way of like estimating an answer to a math problem or guessing when you think something happened. And a website is a way of displaying a website, but it has to be embeddable. So that's a little trick. But here's the deal. If I make it a text slide, again, by hitting the button down here, it turns the slide that I'm on into that style of question. Using these buttons up here would insert this slide after the one I'm currently on. I know it's kind of a long video, but there's a lot that goes into making these slides. So that is how you you add in interactive slides and customize those interactive slides in Pear Deck. If you have any questions on this or anything else EdTech related, by all means, please feel free to email me. You're also welcome to subscribe to this channel to get updates when new videos are posted. And as always, thank you for watching.